Hi, good afternoon, children. Here I am with a small video clips to develop your understanding level in the next chapter, that is a triangle. I have already posted two videos done by 9th class students. Hope you have already observed that the video clippings that is about isosceles triangle, how to make an isosceles triangle by folding newspapers as well as A4 size paper. That is, you fold it vertically and cut the slant cutting, you are getting an isosceles triangle without cutting any papers. So simply we can make, that is an easy method for making an isosceles triangle. After getting the triangle, you will get an altitude. So you have to learn about altitude. So how many altitudes we can draw in any triangle, and that is the observation by folding this activity. So first you got one altitude. Similarly, you can fold it. You are getting a perpendicular distance, and in an isosceles triangle you have already noticed that this altitude bisects the opposite side. So after doing this activity, you have to measure the opposite side whether they are equal or not. So from this you are getting a very good property of an isosceles triangle. The altitude bisects the side. So you have to check the other two altitude also, whether they have bisected the opposite side. That is your observation you have to done before my live class. Similarly, I have posted one activity about equilateral triangle, how to make an equilateral triangle using A4 size paper. So here also you have to draw, fold all three altitude. Altitude, you know, it is a perpendicular distance. It will make 90-degree angle with the base. So again you have to fold all three altitudes and check it, all the altitudes are equal or not. So the first property of these two triangles, I want to say that the altitude, you have to check it, all the altitudes are equal in an equilateral triangle, and in isosceles triangle all the altitudes are equal. That is your observation. Once again I am telling, equilateral triangle all the altitudes are equal. Isosceles triangle, how many altitudes are equal? These are the two observations. And the third observation is altitude bisects the opposite side. So you have already noticed in isosceles triangle one altitude will bisect. What about the other altitude? You have to observe. Similarly, in an equilateral triangle, you have to observe whether the altitude bisects, all three altitudes bisect. Okay, this is about altitude. Now I am moving to the second property. Before taking the online classes, I want your observation by doing practical activity. So now I am taking another equilateral triangle. So this I have constructed an equilateral triangle for you. So here what did I do is, I took the equilateral triangle correct midpoint I have taken here. You can see that this base midpoint is here. Similarly, you take this point's midpoint, and similarly this point's midpoint. All three sides midpoint you have to find out first. And here I have used a thread. This is a thread I have pasted here. So joining that midpoint, I have drawn a line segment from the opposite vertex to that midpoint. Similarly, from the opposite vertex to this midpoint, I have drawn another line segment. Similarly, here also I have drawn this 3. So I want to name it, that line segment. This is called median. M-E-D-I-A-N. So in a triangles, there will be 3 medians. Medians, that word itself, you will get it is the midpoint. So joining the midpoint of the opposite side to the opposite vertex, that is called median. So in any triangle we can draw 3 medians. But the question is, same way altitude, what about the median? All 3 medians are equal in an equilateral triangle. You check it. You can use one thread is enough. One thread you keep it, same thread you measure it, third thread you use it, and tell me all the medians are equal in an equilateral triangle. Similarly, you take isosceles triangle also, you find out whether they are equal or not. So here I have mentioned two properties of two triangles only. Remaining triangles I will tell you later. So very important triangle I have taken today, that is equilateral triangle and isosceles triangle. The first question is altitude. Altitude is not the midpoint. The altitude is actually the perpendicular distance. But maybe it will bisect. It will bisect means it will come as the midpoint. In which of the triangle? That is your observation. But median is not a perpendicular distance. It is correct midpoint. We are joining the line segment from the opposite vertex to the opposite side's midpoint. This is called median. This is called median. So here I have drawn three medians, and these three medians intersect at a point. So that meeting point, a special name we have given that is centroid. 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 We have used the letter G for centroid. C, we have used G. This is gravitational. So we are telling our Earth the gravitational point is there. That is called G. And using that G, we have mentioned the centroid as the three meeting points of median. Children, observe this activity. So the practical work is very important to learn the concept. So always we will say learning by doing. Then only we can move forward. So your observation is must in next class for online classes. Okay, see you. I think you liked it. You will do it. Thank you, children. Thank you very much.